First question, analyze this component and refactor it. Okay, so we have a password and disable state. So we have two states, and we have a use effect which depend on password, and we are setting the set disabled to false if the password length is larger than 8, and else we set it to disabled, which means set disabled true. So we have a form with the input field and the button field. So the main issue with this is that we are storing derived state in a state. So as you can see, the disabled state can be derived from the password. So if the password length is larger than 8, then the button shouldn't be disabled, so false. So we can do this like this: password dot length. If it's larger than or equal to 8, we can say it's not disabled, it's false. And if it is smaller than 8, we can say uh, it's disabled. Now we can get rid of this. We don't need the use effect, and the component works as it worked before. So this is the refactored version of the component, much simpler. So the lesson here is always think if you can derive a state. If you can derive it or calculate it from other different states, then you shouldn't put it into a state. You should just calculate it. Okay, so question 2. I'm going to open this one and I'm going to fold this one. Okay, let's change the index method to show the question 2. So question 2 is implement a counter that increments by 1 every second. So we can do this by using a use effect and a set interval. So we'll do use effect and we'll do set interval. Well, we want it to run on only on the first when the component gets mounted. So we'll put empty brackets here. So we do set interval, and in that interval we can do set count to count plus 1. So we know that this set interval gives out an identifier. So let's store that identifier in a variable I, and we have to clear this interval afterwards. So we have to return it. So return, so we can clear this interval in a return function, because when the component unmounts, use effect runs this function. So we do clear, not timeout, interval, and pass in I. So we expect this to work as it's intuitive, right? Let's check it out in the browser. So we have, oh, we made a mistake. Set interval also expects a second argument, which is the number of milliseconds. We can do this, we can set it to hard-coded value for now as 1000. So let's see this in action. Refresh. As you can see, if I refresh, it only changes from 0 to 1. The reason for this is this use effect only runs on the first mounted times, only once. So in that, when it's running, it creates this set interval and it creates this closure. And when it's running on the first time, the count's value is 0. And it doesn't change. It doesn't get updated because we are not reinitializing it. So it's always 0. To get around this, we can use the updater function to get the most updated value of count. So we can do previous count, and we can use that previous count to add 1. to it. Now it will increment by every second. Let's refresh and see. 1, 2, 3. So it works. Good. Now let's move this into a custom hook so we don't have to use this use effect all the time. So let's write a custom hook. I'm going to name the custom hook function use interval, and I'm going to use the code from here and paste it, and this will get a callback and a delay. I'm going to use the delay here, and I'm going to call the callback from here. And then inside this, we can use interval. We do set count to count, which is previous count and previous count plus 1. And the delay is delay. Oops, delay. And let's type this. This is, and delay is a number. Okay. Now let's see it's working. Yeah, it is working as expected. So now we are using a custom hook for this. What else can we do? Let's try the delay button, whether it's works. So now let's increment, speed this up. No, it is not working. Um, so we are setting the delay to 200 milliseconds, and we are passing it here. Oh, we have to update the dependency array to use delay, because only then it will rerun this function. Okay, so let's take it out. 1, 2, 3. Let's speed it up. Yeah, it works. Brilliant. Okay, so those are the two questions I wanted to cover. So it's set interval is a very peculiar thing on how when it's working with React. So it's nice to have this sort of a abstracted custom hook to interact with it simply. But note that here also we have to do prev count plus 1, the update function. Wouldn't it be cool if we can just do count plus 1? How would we implement this? Well, we can implement it this way by using a ref. How we do this is we can say saved callback, and we do use ref, and this ref is this type, and let's import it, and we can do use effect to initialize this saved callback ref. We do saved callback dot current equals callback. Okay, and then inside the set interval, we are not going to use this. We are going to use the saved callback dot current and then call that function. Let's do it inside if statement so the TypeScript is happy. Okay. Now we can use it this way. Let's see if it works. 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I increase, it works as well. So good, it works. But why? Why did it work when we stored the ref or stored the callback inside a ref? Well, the reason why it didn't work in the first example is because we we are not recreating the callback function in the use effect, Right now, we are not recreating it as well, but we are changing the place that this current saved callback dot current is pointed to when we are assigning the new callback. So how does this work? We change the count, which creates a re-render. When it re-renders, it creates another callback function with the new count plus 1. So it creates a new callback, and that gets passed in here, and we assign this new callback to the ref, and the setInterval callback uses this ref's pointed function and calls that. So this gets the latest callback. I hope you understood that, but that's why it is working. So yeah, so this covers this lesson. I hope you learned something, and you can help me as well by subscribe to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up as well. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.